See, hydrological cycle everybody knows. The water keeps cycling from sky to the earth and back from the ocean and all that. But in a larger sense, if you just imagine yourself to a river, river is, most of us, we have mistaken that river is a running water. Even the river means it comes to our mind that it is a flowing water. But it is not just flowing water, but it is a process. It is a biological, geological and physical, everything is there in a riverine ecosystem. If we have to know about river, we have to know the riverine ecosystem, the whole entire ecosystem, because river has been providing life-saving water to not only for human beings, but starting from the microbes in the soil, aquatic animals, terrestrial animals, even the aerial beings through the transport, evaporation, etc., the whole climate. So if we have to conserve our healthy climate, we have to understand what the river has been doing all these years. And river, see, we should know the anatomy of the river. Just like a river is also a living being. It has its anatomy, it has its physiology, and the processes are happening. If the river is healthy, all the beings we depend on the river could be healthy. So we have, the drainage. Dr. Ganesh Raj spoke about this drainage system. How the drainage system come into existence. He showed many patterns of the drainage. But how that pattern of drainage arises, it occurs, is because of the geological history. The geological history is the skeleton of the river system, where the rocks have come into existence, and the primary structures, that what we call as major lineaments or fractures, etc., have come into existence when the rock came into existence. So these fracture pattern is the root cause for the river system to come up. How the first rain started and how the whole earth was a ball of fire, and then series of rainfall, deluge happened, and even ice age came, and all this happened in the geological history. But later, when the life system came into existence, this became a biogeological system where this stream network is carved not by any engineers. They are all existing since the ages, and these are the pathway for the water to flow when it rains. It is not only pathway for the rainwater to flow, it also connects to the aquifer system. What is aquifer system? Aquifer system is nothing but the geomorphological processes that occur. It has been raining, and every year the seasonal changes are happening. So as geology students, most of you know what is called as weathering, erosion, soil formation. All this happened, and there is direct connection between the stream network and the aquifers. Aquifers are nothing but porous formations. Dr. Ganesh also explained about the different types of aquifers. Lithology, lineaments are the outcome of these things, and there is large scope for water to flow through the aquifers and emerge as the river. Rivers are semi-perennial and perennial. How the rivers can be perennial? Rainy season will not be for always, but it keeps flowing. How? It is the root cause is the aquifer. The aquifer in the upper catchment or the hill areas, normally all the rivers, they take their origin in the hill area, and the entire upper catchment will have a thick aquifer which makes the water to percolate down and reappear in the streams. That's how the rivers are perennial. So there the role of groundwater comes. What is groundwater? Groundwater is nothing but is water which percolates from due to the rains and also keep flowing. It will also not be stagnant. It keeps flowing. That's how the springs occur. You may be seeing in the hill slope lot of springs. What is spring? Spring is nothing but groundwater coming out. The rainwater which converted into groundwater is reappearing as springs, and we call the ecologists call environmental flow. The streams will have environmental flow. We should save that environmental flow. Why? Only when the water keeps flowing through the year, the life system along the stream, maybe aquatic plants it be, or the amphibians, all this ecosystem, if it has to exist, we have to keep that environmental flow. These environmental flows were existing, but now what is happening, that I will explain you later. So here what I wanted to tell you is to understand a river in a larger sense, in its comprehensive sense. So when we talk of the groundwater, we have to think of this entire system. That's where the river and the groundwater are connected. That's what I wanted to explain you. And it is just like think globally and act locally, like that. If you know the entire river system, you know the geography, which different parts of the riverine ecosystem. There are, we talk of the river basins, and these river basins can be classified into small hydrological boundaries, what we call as sub-basin, watersheds like that, finally to the micro watersheds. So the water cycle operates in each of these hydrological boundaries and also simultaneously in a global scale also. There are micro hydrological cycles and macro also. When we understand this, we know what is the stage of groundwater and how important groundwater it is. And you all know we are more dependent on groundwater than surface water. You asked the agriculture yesterday, there was a lecture on that. So the groundwater is so much important, but it is, as somebody said, it is unseen. It is not visible, invisible, but very important. So if we have to, let me. Here, what is happening now? We have to know why these rivers are dry. Rivers are drying up. You all believe. Many rivers in the summer they are dry, which were whenever in our younger days, in our childhood, we used to see the rivers flowing throughout the year also. Even now, some rivers are perennial, but they are drying up. What is the reason? Is the rainfall is the reason? But long-term rainfall indicates that we have been getting enough water on the surface, but the rivers are not flowing. The reason is the drastic land use change that has happened these recent decades. See, of course, thanks to the remote sensing, which we can understand what changes have been occurring because of the repetitive data that we can analyze and find out how forests are disappearing. In the forest area, agriculture is happening. See, though the Western Ghats, many environmentalists are there, but they are changing that area into the plantations, monocrop, where the forest is such a good system, where varieties of diversified plants are there, which has different types of root system, which will make the land as an aquifer. It attracts the water molecules to the gravity zone, and gravity increases the water table, and that had been happening in the whole Western Ghats and any hill area. But what is happening? The forests are being converted into agriculture, major agricultural land. Then agricultural land is also becoming intensive agriculture, or even urban areas, industrial areas, etc. So that natural process of renewability of fresh water without our efforts, which was happening, is not happening because of the drastic land use change. And here this picture, I want to explain how we can, somebody was asking how to artificially recharge. Now we can't bring back the forest at once. It takes a lot of time, and also a lot of other issues are there. It could be urbanization, or all these developmental activities, making a lot of roads, railways, etc., etc. But we should do something artificially. How to do it artificially? There are n number of methods of recharging groundwater, starting from rooftop to even in Bengaluru city, the storm water drains are being used for the recharge. But which is the correct method, easy method to convert the rainwater or the surface water into groundwater is along the network of streams. This network of streams is like a nervous system for the river, where it carries the water and links to the aquifer. So there is a saying, catch the rainwater where it falls and convert it into groundwater. So this is the way we can do it. We have to and also there is change in the rainfall pattern. Rain occurs at once, which was happening in a quite number of rainy days, can happen in a week or a day also. That has happened. So we don't have any control on this rainfall. But whenever it rains, wherever it rains, can we convert that into groundwater? Yes. These are the network of streams, or the sites where we can easily convert the rainwater into groundwater, and it runs off. In the absence of vegetation, how we can do this? Do you have video in this?
Yes.
ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಹಳ್ಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಓಲ್ಡರ್ ಚೆಕ್ಸ್ನ ನಿರ್ಮಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ರಭಸವಾಗಿ ಹರಿಯೋ ನೀರನ್ನು ಬೇಗವನ್ನು ತಗ್ಗಿಸ್ಬೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದನ್ನು ಗುರುತಿಸಲಾಗಿದೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಅದರ ನಂತರ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನೆಲದ ಆಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಅಂತರ್ಜಲವಾಗತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮೆದುಶಿಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಒಂದು 15-20 ಅಡಿ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಆಳಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದಾಗ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರನ್ನು ಕೆಳಕ್ಕೆ ಇಳಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಇಂಗುಬಾವಿಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾಡಿದೆ. ಈ ಇಂಗುಬಾವಿಗಳು ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಹೋಗೋ ನೀರನ್ನು ನೆಲದ ಆಳಕ್ಕೆ ಇಳಿಸಿ ಅಂತರ್ಜಲದ ಮಟ್ಟವನ್ನು ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಏರಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಏರಿಸುವಾಗ ಎತ್ತರದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಏನು ಅಂತರ್ಜಲದ ಮಟ್ಟ ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಏರುತ್ತೆ, ಹಳ್ಳಗಳ ಆಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಹರಿತಾ ಕೆರೆಗಳನ್ನು ನಿಧಾನವಾಗಿ ತಲುಪುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸಂಗ್ರಹಿಸೋದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಕೆರೆಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಕೊಳವನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಕೊಳದಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತರ್ಜಲ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಮಳೆ ನೀರು ಕೂಡ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಮತ್ತು ಅದು ಬಿಸಿಲು ಗಾಳಿಗೆ ತಾಗಿ ಆವಿಯಾಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದು ನದಿ ಪುನಶ್ಚೇತನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಒಂದು ತಾಂತ್ರಿಕ ಕ್ರಮ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. So these are the artificial methods in the hard rock terrain. You know, this the running water has to be made slow. There is a slogan: make the water sleep like that. See, when these boulder checks are constructed without any cement or concrete, locally available boulders can be put in juxtaposition, keying into the wall, and every 250 or 300 meters, if we put this, like we put the road humps to slow down the traffic, the water gets slowed down. Let it have any intense rainfall, it will flow slow. The water that would have flowed in one day can flow for a week or more. And while doing so, when the water keeps flowing slow, it increases the soil moisture on the banks, and the vegetation cover will come, and erosion is reduced. Then next step is to convert that slow flow of water into groundwater. Just dig a 20 feet deep in the hard rock terrain, where you will be easily connecting it to the shallow aquifer. What is shallow aquifer? It is weathered rock, where the weathered rock will be along the natural streams because of the continuous process of flowing hydrological, geohydrological processes. The aquifers, what we were happy with our open wells, the shallow aquifers get water, but it is not enough now because we are in the age of borewells, deep borewells. So we need to drill from the bottom 20 feet well and create a porous zone around that by putting large sized boulders and jelly, etc., so that the water which was flowing slow will start flowing vertically down. When it reaches the gravity zone, it percolates into the fractures also, but it takes more time, and we have overexploited, and intense borewell pumping out is also there. To make it possible to quickly recharge, drill a borewell from the bottom of this recharge well and filter it, and the water will percolate and enter the fracture zones. When we do this along the streams, as Ganesh Raj was telling, the lineaments, these lineaments have a large area to link with, because they may be differently angled, but they are connected to fractures. There is a fracture system. That's where the locating a borewell point in a hard rock terrain, it is difficult because the water flows in different directions. We always think the slope will make the water flow, but when it enters the subsurface, it has its own hydrodynamics. It becomes what is called as Artesian condition. It enters where it can get great pressure to flow. It can come up also. That is where some places when they drill, the water keeps springing. So this kind of movement is not only groundwater, it is part of the river system. So river can flow in different directions. It is not only towards sea. It has its own domain in the terrain, and that keeps the water sustainable till the next rain comes. So this we are stopping that kind of natural process by changing the land use. And also one side we are stopping the natural process of recharging every year. Another side we are drilling deeper and deeper wells and extracting water anywhere. And another reason somebody was telling this, dams are built and the water distribution is getting imbalanced. If you allow the river to flow on its own, it provides the water to every part of the basin and every village. Or somebody was telling me when I went for a project, In my village there is no river, sir. But mind you, every village is part of some river or the other. So we are all part of the river system. So when we rejuvenate the river system, we can rejuvenate ourselves. So these are the things what we did. This is an experience in Kumadvati. Kumadvati is a small river. There are many Kumadvatis, but there is one small Kumadvati river. It is about 54 kilometers length. Starts from Shivagangi hills to the Tippagondalli reservoir. Tippagondalli reservoir was the one water supply reservoir for Bengaluru, which was providing water for a long time, but that got dried up because of the land use change again. All the urbanization, everything, the entire Arkavat, even Hesarghatta dam, and even Tippagondalli reservoir. The Tippagondalli reservoir has two catchments. One is from Arkavati, another is from Kumudvati. So we focused on this Kumudvati because we wanted to show how we can revive water in the Tippagondalli reservoir. So what we did, we prepared these thematic maps. This is about the result. Even before that, we did two types of geology there. One is granitic gneiss and gneiss there, banded gneiss. So there are a lot of lineaments, fractures, everything. We mapped it and we took a decision that along the streams we will make the water flow slow and also recharge. So this is about 460 square kilometers and 278 villages, and every 250, 300 meters frequency we constructed these structures. And another beautiful thing is we have 200 and odd water bodies. Wherever this stream, all these water bodies are man-made and they are constructed across these natural streams. Water bodies are man-made, but streams are natural. So the water bodies, we have, every village has one or two water bodies nearby. So what we thought, when the stream joins the water body, there we constructed what is called as a water pool. In olden days they were constructing kalyanis near the temples and middle of the village, and they were getting water. Here the science behind this water pool is the recharged water all along the streams keep flowing as a base flow. It is not seen, but it will be keep flowing to the water body, but it is not seen. But this water pool will harvest that groundwater and also harvest the rainwater. So these water pools can stop the evapotranspiration, not stop, reduce the evapotranspiration and be available throughout the year. That has happened. See, in Kumadvati there is one water pool near Adi Hosaldi, you can go and ask there. That was constructed in 2013. Till today it has not dried up. And cattle is going and drinking water, even our cheetah nearby used to drink. And around these water pools, we planted trees of native species which attract the bees and birds. So we could create what is called as micro eco restoration cells. This can be possible near each water body. So this keeps circulating there itself and the entire system. By doing this, we took more time to do this because we are dependent on the donations or the CSR funds. We got the funds in step by step. So we took 10 years to rejuvenate this whole system, and now TG Halli is getting filled and BWSB is supplying water back. Otherwise it was dry for a long time. So this is one success story. Similar success story, this impact assessment is also made where we could see the greenness index is also increased. And another success story in Karnataka is Palar. See, Palar is, I don't call it a success story for the Palar, but it's a success story for some watersheds where we did. This is a place where river Palar gets originated. It is in Chikballapur district, where there is a Kaivara hill. And near that hill there is a small hillock where the Palar river starts its flow. Its first order stream starts from there, and it is a rocky area. It is a stony waste according to our land use plan, Ganesh. So that area we mapped it, even used drone and found out how the network of fractures are there, and along the fractures how the weathering has taken place. So in that rocky hill we climbed and planted trees there, and we made some small structures. The forest department were the experts in that. They did that, what is called as soil water conservation methods, where even the rainwater could stop there and support the plants with that they planted, and these plants started working. And now there is a spring there in the middle center picture. It is there. It is a spring at the bottom of the hill where it is having clear, clean water, and it will be there through the year. And this is the first order stream which makes the Palar river to start flowing. So these are some of the success stories. Similar way, same method we adopted. Do we have Nagandi? Yeah, I will come to that. In hard rock terrain, we have one Naganadi which is tributary to Palar. It is continuation of the Palar river from Kolar district. It enters the Vellore. There is a tributary called Naganadi, and Naganadi has its catchment in the forest area. So there, same method what we adopted in Kumadvati was adopted there. The beauty of the thing there was, Sakama will be very happy. More than 20,000 ladies got together, and using the Narega, they constructed these structures what we did in Kumudvati, and now it has become perennial. You go and you can see the defense minister recently visited, and it has been flowing through the year because there is a good forest, and also the recharge right from Karnataka takes place, and that Naganadi has become the news of the country, and even Prime Minister tweeted on that. So that is another story. But going to the floodplains, this hard rock terrain method may not work in the floodplains. We worked in Uttar Pradesh also. There is a river called Kosi, and also another Bundelkhand is similar to our Karnataka. This hard rock terrain, and this picture shows the Bundelkhand, how the recharge structures made in the upstream is springing down. See the water springing, and the HAL officers who supported by the CSR, they were inspecting, and they were wonderstruck, and they started continuing their support in that area also. This is Bundelkhand region. There is a Gobind Sagar, just like our Tepuvanalli, this Gobind Sagar catchment. It is serves the purpose of this that part of the Uttar Pradesh, and we have constructed so many structures, and it is again a success story. In floodplains, this is not a hard rock terrain. This is a part of the tributary of Kosi river in Uttar Pradesh, Rampur district, where one tributary small stream called Sarayu is there. There, what happens? There is flood in the rainy season and drought in the summer. and that Rampur district was declared as overexploited because they had number of these tube wells, and again the same story, the forest disappeared and intensive agriculture is happening. So the even depletion of 8 to 10 meters, they Central Groundwater Authority people are there, they declared it as overexploited. So what we did, we tried to harvest the water not on the surface as we did in our top terrain. We constructed what are called as subsurface dikes. Many people told it is ruled out, we can't construct subsurface dike in floodplain. But we did some geophysical work, geophysical survey using the latest method, and we could find out there are layers of porous and non-porous zones. So we took an innovative method of stopping that base flow by drilling series of bores and putting the slurry into that with some casing pipe and with pores, and that created a wall in the below the surface, and whatever the flood during the flood season, whatever the flow happens was being stopped below the surface. So the water levels came up, and Groundwater Authority declared it as, they removed that restriction of overexploited in that Rampur district, sir, you know. So and the innovative method, what we did was successful, and Yogi Adityanath is giving an award to our volunteers for that innovative method, and Radico, a company, supported us. So coming to Bangalore, we are doing everywhere, but we have to take care of ourselves. Our Guruji told, you are working all over India, why not in Bangalore? Bangalore is suffering for water. So coming to the Bangalore, that Kumudvati, though we have revived, but core Bangalore, what we can do, we have to think of. That is what presently we are doing. So when we come to the Bangalore, we just have a look at the topography and riverine ecosystem in this area. We have a major divide which connects Nandi Hill Range to the Bannerghatta Hill Range. It is a north-south hill range. That white line indicates the ridge wherein we have South Penna and Arkavati that side. Arkavati again is, we have the Kumudvati which we have rejuvenated, and also we have the Vrishabhavati. Vrishabhavati is entirely, the catchment is in the urban area. It starts from somewhere Pinya and also this Muleshwaram, etc. And it is highly urbanized and highly polluted. But we have one Suvarnamukhi, is a small river, smallest of all these rivers, which originates from Bannerghatta Hill Range. There is a temple, Suvarnamukhi temple, and there is a water pool where the water will be there, people go and worship. That is the starting point. From there, about 30 kilometers away, there is one Suvarnamukhi reservoir, which happens to be a irrigation reservoir, but irrigation is not happening. Again, this agriculture is becoming urbanized. Everywhere the layouts, even Gram Panchayats are converting their land to the layouts, and many people are buying lands and making their apartments and all that. So we thought, and ashram or art of living ashram is part of it. Here, two challenges. One is pollution, another is scarcity of water because of the, again this is declared as overexploited area. A part of Anekal Taluk is there. You have a map, sir. This is the area. I will not read out the details, but we have this about 216 square kilometer area, 69 villages are there, and some part of, small part of the basin is urbanized. That is JP Nagar 9th phase onwards. And this, there is one Turahali forest. The beauty of this basin is we have forest chunks all around. We have Bannerghatta wildlife sanctuary and the Ragihalli State Forest. We have Thuralli Forest. We have Kaval. Like that, we have a lot of forest areas. These forest areas generate good water, but again, there the scarcity of water is there. Wildlife, there is always challenge. The elephants are coming out to the Haroli and disturbing people, or people are disturbing the wild animals without water. They are putting rail, what is that? Railings as a bridge. They are constructing the fencings. So they can't come out of water, they don't have water. So we just thought we should do something in this, because this is very urban. Is yet to be become a Paka urban core Bengaluru, like where we can't do anything. Here there is scope for us to save this part of the river as a riverine ecosystem. So we moved a concept, and that concept was given to the development commissioner. Development commissioners took interest and asked us to map this area. See, all these thematic maps were made, the land use. Every 3 years it is tripling the development activities, because that highway is happening in Kanpura road, and the fast development is taking place. So there we have this, divided this whole basin into 10 mini watersheds, and we have mapped the water bodies, and also we have BBMP area, BDA area, the forest area, and the rural development. So all these departments, we are giving the plan of action. BBMP has to reduce the pollution or eradicate the pollution by bioremedial measures. What are bioremedial measures? We have done a small experiment in the our ashram area, where one stream passes through, and there is a small water body, we call it as Radha Kunj Lake, where the whole, you might have visited the Art of Living campus. There it is a biodiversity area. Varieties of forests and flora and fauna are there, and it has a serene atmosphere also. But a stream passing from the urban area is passing through that, and there is a small water body which got polluted, and the fishes started dying. There was an industry in the upstream where it was generating the toxic material. Then Pollution Control Board came to our help, and they stopped it, and they are treating it and leaving. Now the sewage water is entering. So we did a series of, we call it as a multi-pronged approach. The streams are the carriers of again coming to the riverine ecosystem. Streams or stream network is the carriers of the pollution also. It carries water, it carries pollution also. So we mapped the sources of pollution, where the pollution happens. By, again, thanks to remote sensing, we could map the areas which are built up, which are industrialized, which are open, which are forested. Like that, we could trace the sources of pollution. And levels of pollution was also measured with the help of EMPRI, and there was a lot of difference, a lot of pollution entering the water body. So what we did, the run of the stream, we again went for this what are called as boulder checks we more frequently, which will make that water. This here, it is not only rainy water, it is also used water. So when it comes, it gets checked and also spill over the boulders and oxygenate, and also suspends many material which are not dissolvable. And that water, and also we constructed the water called as, I am not an expert in the bioremediation, but what we did I am explaining. We put some soil bags with bacteria, and we put it below the surface, on the bed of the stream, which absorbs the bacteria also, that we call it as biobridges. And also phytoremediation. The phytoremediation is a natural process. Even we have observed in many places, many plants become very active in these polluted areas, which are identified as vetiver grass, itbier, canna, so many varieties of plant species which absorb the heavy metals and give colorful flowers and beautiful look, but the water quality it gets improved in that way when it passes through. That natural phenomena we could replicate by putting a coir mat on the banks and planting these restoration species. Even many school children participated in this, and now the water is getting improved. Even the chemical analysis, everything was done by MP, and we have been able to see the clean water entering the water body, and fish death is stopped. So this is a success story. So when this can happen in a one stream and a one water body, why not in all these water bodies of the Suvarnamukhi? So that we are trying to interact with the respective departments and asking them to prepare their plan of action proposal, and implementation definitely has to happen. So I think my time is over. Yeah. So we have to have a holistic approach. We have to look at the groundwater in its holistic approach. As one unit should be a hydrological unit, that we follow that water basin approach, but not only with respect to water, but to the entire ecosystem. Forests are part of the river. The drainage network is part of the river. What is happening in the built up area? Many tanks have been encroached. Many apartments are built right in the tank, and the streams are being encroached. Because they are not flowing, people think that they convert it to agriculture area, or in the sites also the residential areas are encroaching this stream network. So when we have this kind of knowledge on the holistic knowledge on the river basin, the kind of consciousness work, and we have to conserve the natural system. Nature provides everything, we are spoiling it. And at least we should try to replicate nature, copy nature, what is happening, and take the collaborative effort. It is not only the government can do, people participation should be there, and of course our experience, even the many good companies come forward, their CSR support, and civic societies also have to participate in this. So by safeguarding our rivers, definitely we can save our environment, and that is the best management for the groundwater. There I am trying to link between the river and the groundwater. Thank you very much. Any questions?